Hello, everyone. My name is Nikolai. Welcome to the Gay Jazz 15-minute interview, where we interview many people in the online music scene, like artists, and artists. Today, I have my wonderful first guest ever for this show. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Ima. I'm a musician, producer, visual artist, sound designer, blah 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 blah. A lot of hats. But I make music and DJ and do cool things.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've been curious since I've known you. How did you get IMA as your name?
That is a good question. So it actually comes from an old username, which I used when I was like kind of like new to the fandom, and I was like kind of embarrassed about it. So I had this like long string of just like characters basically, so I could like almost stay anonymous. But I just took the first three letters of that because someone called me that once, and that was Ima. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, all right, that's wonderful. Again, pleasure to have you on the show. I think we're going to be having a pretty good time here.
Hmm.
All right. So, first question up for today. What got you into music? What's kind of your history when it comes to learning about music and getting into production, all this nonsense?
Yeah. I'd say what really like spurred me on at first is like Um, I think like the world's visual remakes, like the Porter Robinson ones from fucking like God, that would have been 2015, 2016, or maybe even earlier. But that was sort of my first like introduction into like the EDM scene, like the I don't know. Because I've always been into like EDM and like electronic music and stuff like that. But I think that was like the real start of like, oh, I like audio visual stuff and I want to be doing that. And then it just sort of stemmed from there. I've just, been on Discord servers. I've just met lots of people. I've gone to concerts and stuff like that. And but I'd say my start was definitely just
Yeah.
those visual remakes of like Worlds Live.
Yeah, I will admit, I'm a little bit jealous that you managed to get the IRL experience when it came to music. I remember you telling me earlier today that like it went through an extremely tiring like DJ thing like last night.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I just played had my first ever headlining show in my home city, which was
Oh wow.
it was a small little venue, but it was really like intimate and super fun.
I
And
mean,
it
hey,
was
it's a headliner.
no, oh absolutely no, that was not to knock it at all, like not
Yeah,
in any
yeah.
way. Just but just like it was surreal to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this like kind of for real. So yeah, no, super cool. My friend coordinated it, and yeah, no, just super awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's great. Hopefully, if everything goes right, you'll be able to do a lot more shows then.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. What about got you into? You were a visual artist, right? Or you are one.
Mhm.
I don't know why I said
Yes.
it that way, but what got you into doing art?
Art. I mean, so I mentioned before like the World's Live remake stuff. I say that because I think that those videos sort of integrated this idea of like audio and visual like together. Like for me, music has never just been music on its own. Like there's always been like a visual component with it. So I'd say like I've always loved like graphic design and like visual design and like visual effects and things like that.
Yeah.
Um so that was always sort of intertwined with music with me. So I'd say my journey with that is almost the same, just because um they're so intertwined for me. Just like that idea of like visuals and art and things, or visuals and music together. So yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say just sort of like a similar path.
Yeah. I mean, hey, no, nothing wrong with it. I mean, hey,
Mhm.
I imagine they were good videos at least.
Yeah, I mean, some people, if you're in the chat there, will probably know what I'm talking about. I'll clarify probably if I if you don't, but most people, I feel like a lot of people in this scene have probably seen those and been like, oh, or at least obviously like know Porter Robinson's like World's Live shows and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question up for now. What do you want to communicate with your music? What are some of the ideas that you want to explore? What's the kind of general message that you want to put out into the world, so to speak, when it comes to your performances or your art or whatever else?
So I say it's kind of always been like sort of changing and evolving since I've grown, but I think I've sort of settled on it being about like self-expression and like being yourself and stuff. Because a lot of my music and like inspirations and stuff like come out of the furry fandom, which is a very big, self-expressing group of people, and like a lot of the art that comes from that is just like all about being yourself. So I've always kind of took into that idea. I'd say a lot of my currently out music is very like about nostalgia and about things like that, and it's sort of almost like a weakness in my opinion because I feel like I linger a little too much on the past. So I'm trying to get away from that a little bit. But for the most part, moving forward, it's trying to be about just like self-expression, just like being yourself and being understanding and like I'm you know just loving people and loving music, and I just love music, so I just try to do everything. Like I love every genre. I really do. Like I know a lot of people say that, but like I'm trying to just experiment so much with
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, there's just a lot. But yeah.
Yeah. I will admit, although I'm not a furry myself, although my girlfriend would like to detest that, um, I hold a lot of deep appreciation when it comes to the furry community because, aside from the fact that there's a lot of great artists from there, a lot of music from there has also influenced a lot of what I've listened to. Patricia Taxon is a popular one.
Oh my
She's pretty
gosh! Oh,
much
don't even get me
restructured.
started on her.
She's restructured
Fuck.
my brain chemistry
If
with
you have
when it comes to
anyone,
her
if anyone
stuff.
here hasn't listened to fucking Tech Dog, please go listen to fucking Tech Dog. It or and if you don't want to spend 7 hours on that, which is valid, go listen to
12 hours.
Bicycle at least.
It's
It's
12
12
hours
hours.
long.
Is it? It is 12 hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that series of projects like changed my life. Ugh,
yeah.
man, and not even just furry associated, but Violet Pony is one of my number
Oh,
one
Violet Pony is a
inspirations.
classic, without a shadow of a
I
doubt.
fucking love Violet Pony, and I mean, still furry actually, because I think she is still a furry, but that's also like brony scene, which is its
And
own like
bronies,
little thing.
furries, tomato, tomato.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair, but also a lot of furries give bronies shit, and I don't think that's fair either,
Right.
because we're all just doing our own thing. Like there's no need to hate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
man, the talk about nostalgia reminded me of how I started with like lo-fi hip hop. Because I
Me too.
remember I was so inexperienced, and so I think kind of like unconsciously, like I thought,
Mhm.
like if I just have like a looping sample and just like put on some basic drums on it, then I could
Yeah,
probably
no.
just get something out.
I get it. My whole first EP, which has been like stripped from every streaming service, was like a lo-fi hip hop thing, and it was literally just all like Cymatics 2020 melody collection, like samples and shit. Like it's bad. It's bad. I always say you shouldn't take your stuff down. Like let your old art be and stuff. That was not art. That was really bad sample flips that weren't even really flips. So I just those are like the only thing I delete. Everything else I'm unashamed about. But
Yeah.
those like 5 tracks, a little bit embarrassing. But I'm still even those I'm still nostalgic for, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, it happens to the best of us, It's nice to
Mhm.
look back on who you were before and realize, like, man, I really sucked.
You really sucked, but also you're growing and you're learning, and there's still something kind of precious
You were
about that.
garbage
Like,
at music, but you were cooking something right there. You were
no,
cooking something.
I mean, I think music from inexperienced artists is really interesting though, because like I don't know, there's just such like a certain like sound that only someone who doesn't know what they're doing
Yeah,
can emulate, or not even emulate, just do. You can't really emulate it. That's the thing. It's
yeah.
crazy.
That's part of why obligatory Carsey headrest mentioned when it comes to furry stuff.
Right?
But
Yeah.
but like Twin Fantasy, the original version, I prefer the original version compared to the remaster because it's just so beginnery. It's so
Mhm.
amateurish, and I think that by kind of like making it sound cleaner, it kind of misses the emotion that the original had. At least for me.
That's yeah, that's a super fair point. I agree. Yeah, I know. Not to go back to Violet Pony, but I know Violet Pony's been talking about doing remakes. And I'm like, but there's something so like special about the way these sound before. I
Yeah,
do hear where you're coming from. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Next question. This is a free promo question. Do you have any projects in the works? Do you have anything that you want to tease us about or anything like that?
Oh boy. Okay. If you know, you know. But besides that, I'll get to that in a second. But there's I have an EP I'm working on. I'm trying to get out by the end of March. That's not related to anything, but just a personal little project about comfort characters in media, which I'm super excited about and hoping to have done by then. The big thing I'm working on right now is the Five Nights at Freddy's album, which I'm hoping to have out by the 10th anniversary. And I mean, I can say that because I'm pretty open about the fact that I'm trying to have it out by that day. I think it's the 8th of August. I'm trying to forget, but I'm trying really hard to hit that deadline. But it's going to be a very multi-genre, very collaborative project. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We have in the project already. We have like rock. We've got hyper pop. We've got ballads. We've got ambient. We've got garage house. Like I'm really
Yeah.
trying to like take all of these like FNAF inspirations and put them together because FNAF is such like a special thing to me. I mean, I can argue that it's part of a reason that I'm furry, which is also kind of part of a reason that I'm a musician. So like FNAF
Right.
really inspired me as like a child, and it's maybe it is nostalgic, but it's also sort of like moving forward and trying to like grow up with it and sort of like I don't know. I don't know. It's. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot I could talk about,
Yeah, of
but we have
course.
15 minutes. I don't want to hold up too
Yeah.
much, but
I just want to ask one question about it. Is the FNAF album on?
the FNAF album is so on. By
All
the way,
right. Cool. Just thought I'd make sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You haven't mentioned it before, so I just thought I'd
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
make sure.
Yeah, no, it's
All
so
right.
on.
And just the last question. What is the funniest story that you have in terms of recent memory?
Oh God, funny. Oh fuck. Oh, that's one that put me on the spot. Shit. What has been going on? Fuck. Maybe not a funny story, but at the show last night, one of my friends showed up, and as I was about to go on, they reached their hand out to me on stage, and they like grabbed my hand, and I don't. Do you know what a candy bracelet is like in terms of
uh,
the rave scene?
yeah, I think I do. It's like
Yeah.
when you have like a bunch of like little plastic things in a bracelet
Yeah,
and you
just
can
like the
shake them.
plastic bee bases. But so yeah, the whole point is that they're meant to be like kind of like shared around and stuff. It's like a huge thing in like the plural scene, which is a big thing in the rave scene. But they grabbed my hand and they like slipped their like a candy bracelet onto my hand, and I looked at it and it like was made for me and it had like it had IMA on it, and I almost started crying on that stage. I was so excited.
Aw.
I was like, oh my God, because like we're like we're like friends, but we weren't like super close. So like the fact that they thought to do that for me, like I
Yeah.
literally almost started crying up there, dude. I was so excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to have those kinds of like personal things between friends. I remember my friend, I think either a little after or during my high school graduation, or it was, I think it was a little bit after. She had given me a letter kind of thanking me and my mom because my mom works at the school.
Hmm.
Um, and it had like a little Tyler Creator Flower Boy cover art
Oh,
on it that she drew, and it was really
aw,
nice. It was really
that's
nice.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah. All right, we have like 2 minutes left, which is more than I originally expected.
Word.
Yeah,
Dang. Okay. Well, what else? What else can we
yeah.
talk about for two
Uh,
minutes?
let's see. Uh, what is your favorite artist of all time in terms of music?
Favorite of all time. It's third time this podcast, but it's got to be Violet Pony. Violet Pony's just like sense of sound design and like music composition and just like aesthetics visually and everything. Like she has so much diversity like in her sound palette, but it all still sounds like her. And like I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah.
geek out too much, but just like so much like sound variety and so much like compositional skill and just I don't know, so many different genres that she knows how to like use like effectively and things like that. Like if you haven't listened to Carousel, Carousel is probably one of my favorite albums of
Dude,
all time.
Carousel is just basic listening for humanity at
I
this
think
point.
so. Yeah. No, no, actually though, like that album literally like changed my life and changed like the way I did music. Like seriously, like that's my twin fantasy. Like regardless. No, yeah, no, Violet Pony easily. But I mean, other top contenders: Porter Robinson, Maddie, and the classics. Just
Yeah.
obviously those people are gonna have inspirations and like lots of like love in my heart. But no one does it like Violet Pony. I genuinely think Violet Pony might be like one of the best musicians on the planet,
Oh yeah.
or of this generation at the very
I
least.
think we're at an age because of the internet that we're starting to get a lot more like talented like young people, which is really cool.
Hmm.
It's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're finally about to close up on the interview. We got about like 30 seconds left. So I just want to ask you if you have like any last things to say before we start heading off.
Uh, not really, honestly.
Yeah.
Just I'm a. You can find me on Instagram. I'm a Burby. That's Birby. Or yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Sorry, now I feel like I'm promoting myself.
No, you're
Y'all have
fine.
a good rest of the show. Have fun at the rest of the festival.
All right, yeah, thank you all for coming to this interview. I hope you all have a wonderful time at Gauge as 12.
Woo!
Whoever's up next is up next. All right, thank you very
Yay!
much.
Bye bye.